I'm a bit allergic to books which are full of analysis with no inkling that the person has ever been to the country concerned. I wouldn't have the nerve to write a major book about anything unless I'd been to the place. Maybe I'm having a very journalistic view, which don't write about somewhere if you haven't been, if you haven't read its literature, if you haven't read its poetry, if you know very little about it except academic stuff. But I can sort of name lots of underexplored places and issues. But I'm also a journalist, knowing that you have to appeal to an audience which frankly doesn't know why some remote islands, say in the South China Sea, should be of any interest to them at all. So in a way one's blaming not the journalists or the television or anything, one's blaming one's audience. But then I think, you know, readers or viewers, you know, they have lives to live. They have lives to get on with. They've got, you know, whether it's sort of, you know, taking the children to school or defleeing the cat or something. Why should they be interested in something very remote, which they can't see has got any relevance to them? I felt a lot of the time as a foreign correspondent, it was my job to make people interested. My father was born in China. I worked in China off and on since just about a couple of months after the fall of the Gang of Four. And I'm fascinated by these countries, but I was also fascinated by Azerbaijan, which my readers would never have heard of. And that's because, of course, the Caspian sits on a huge oil lake, really. And so, you know, I had to go and flog this to the editor. He said, our readers won't be interested. I said, they will be by the time I'm finished. And I wrote a two-part series. It was about 7,000 words. And I had one of the biggest post bags I've ever had. Fascinated, you know. How does one get there? You know, never heard of it before. And so on. So I felt it was my job to make people interested.